Anyway, right now
doing that episode.
Yeah. So anyway, right now the trust fund as of today stands at about 2.9 trillion. So that's extra money, right? Now, if we do nothing, we don't do anything about Social Security going forward, the trust fund will be gone by 2034. Okay, so 12 years from now. Closer to 13 now because we're getting near 2023. Now, at the time that's gone and depleted, the amount of payroll tax coming in, the amount of money people are paying each year going in, will still cover about 80%. Okay, but people's pay would be reduced by 20% because the money wouldn't be there unless the government stepped in. There are solutions to this. I think the most obvious one right now is if everybody who pays Social Security, which is almost all of us, right? It's whatever 6.2% of your paycheck, right? Of your payroll, and once you hit $147,000 a year, every dollar above that is not subject to Social Security tax. So you could raise that, or I would just take it away, right? So every dollar you make is subject to Social Security tax, and then you'd never ever have to worry about funding it. It would always be funded. In fact, it would be overfunded. You could probably just loan money to the government at that point as an extra tax. So that would be a simple solution. The Republicans, on the other hand, this is their solution, going back to Ron Johnson and Rick Scott. All right. So their plan to keep it solvent would be to reduce all the future benefits with no tax hikes. Right? We're just going to reduce the amount people get going forward. That's just the bullet point of it. So what they do is they try to shift the money from those who earn more to those who earn a little bit less. So if you are on the lower income scale, your cut will be 10 or 12%. But if you're on the higher income scale, it'll be like closer to 40 or 44, right? But
okay, so I'm going to chime in here. So logic says to me that the play there is that in these lower income brackets, there are more people to spread this across, right? So we can make up more ground that way. However, you're also looking at within this group of people, there are more people. However, the impact is much greater because that percentage of money taken out of your, your monthly budget becomes way more critical than at the higher income levels.
Sure, sort of. But let's look at this in reality for a second. So about the average payout for Social Security is about $2,600 for somebody who's maxed out, right? So, hang on. So you would be losing from your $2,600. That'd be $312 a month. That would be $3,700 a year, right? And from your total of $2,600 would only be $31,000. So now you're down to 27 something, 28. That's devastating if that's what you're living on.
Well, and that's a big difference in those income levels.
But that's my point is if you're a higher...
saying that I've lived at those income levels and that size of a swing would have made a tremendous difference in my world in either direction, to the positive or negative, depending which way it went,
Right. But if I'm rich and I'm withdrawing $250,000 a year out of my pension and my 401k and all that, then do I really care if they're cutting my Social Security by half? So now I'm, instead of $2,600, I'm only getting $1,500. It's like, it doesn't matter to me anyway. It's not that big of a swing. So really what it ends up hurting poor people more. Which is
kind of a poor tax, basically.
Well, no, we've already taxed you. You've already paid this. We're just going to take it away from you now.
No, but that's what I mean when I say a
Yeah.
vortex. I'm not being incredibly literal,
Yeah.
but you know, that's who it's going for. It's going for the poor, and there's a larger quantity of people in these lower income brackets, so they feel like they can kind of spread it around and
Yeah.
extract what they need. But it's also the people that are going to be injured the most.
Right. And from just a financial perspective, I would counter with this, which is when it
Sorry,
comes,
let me not be laughing at you
yeah,
first.
when it comes to middle and lower middle income people and lower income people, um, for every dollar they receive in something like Social Security or stimulus, they tend to spend a little bit more than a dollar, right? For wealthy people, right, people that are higher middle income, upper middle income, you know, they tend to, for every dollar they get like Social Security or something like that, they tend to spend about 70 cents. So that's less money going into the economy. It's less money going to provide jobs, to provide services. It's just generally bad. So if we're cutting 12% from people we know we're going to spend it, and we're not doing anything to improve the economy. What we're doing is shrinking the economy. And when you're talking about 10 million people rely on it, 65 million people collect it, and the overall of this, it's going to be, we're talking about 30, 40, 50 million people are going to have less to spend. It's going to be devastating to the economy. So that would be the financial counter argument to that. So.